Hello my friends, welcome to another video. It's 31st of May and I'm sitting in my living room even that the weather is great outside. It's sunny and relatively warm, but there's no motorcycle around here. There are some motorcycle clothes here which I will show you soon. But there's a good reason I'm not out on my motorcycle today or cycling or doing anything else, and that is because I had my really first serious motorcycle crash just 2 days ago. So what happened? I was on the way to a friend of mine. We wanted to go out for another 3 days together. It was a 2-hour ride. I started at 8 o'clock in the evening because I came late from work and there was a lot of traffic in Stockholm, so I decided to go later actually. And I was aware I will probably get into dawn, but that should be okay. It was just before 10 I would be at my destination, and at 21:51 a wild boar was crossing the road just in front of me and I hit it. Then I don't remember much more. I just remember animal, 4 legs, wild boar, and then I blacked out. Came back probably a few minutes later when I came back on my feet again and took off my helmet and tried to get out my earplugs. The left one was stuck because with short fingernails you can hardly get that out. Car had stopped behind me. I asked him, hey, did you see that? No, I didn't see anything. I just came, so I must have been knocked out for maybe a minute or something like that. I don't know. Then I didn't feel bad. I could move everything. Was a little bit of blood here on the fingers, but nothing serious. Legs, everything okay. So I pushed the bike. We actually lifted the bike together. I pushed the bike then into the next side road just to be away from the main road. Called my friend Kari, and he came then quite quickly. Also called the police, who informed the responsible hunter on standby to check for that animal. I drove the bike back to him, to my friend, and it was drivable. It was not straight, but it was drivable. We left it in the garage. I went to the hospital then. And in the emergency room later, we did a complete check. Was an X-ray from the hip upwards. Fortunately, thanks for that, no serious damages, no injuries, no broken bones, no concussions or anything, no brain damage. I really went away quite well. Yesterday, the day after that, I really felt like I was in a kickboxing thing somehow, the event, or like a Wiener Schnitzel where the hammer has gone over to soften it up. So basically all of the upper body was aching. Now I have still some pain in my right shoulder, so lifting heavy is not really possible, but at least I can move it all the way up and down and rotate it and everything. So the joint is okay. It's probably just some muscles here which are a little bit beaten up. I have a spot here on the hip which hurts. And my thumbs don't really work. I cannot really grip hard, and my left one is worse, but today at least I can go that far compared to the other one. Yesterday I couldn't even bend it a little bit. I guess this came when the handlebar slammed into my hands here probably. Looking at my clothes, I realized I probably came down forward and rolled on my right side, on my shoulder and my right hip, and then probably made a turnaround. So why is that? I can show you the helmet. If you look at that, you see there are scratches on both sides of the visor. Probably not in the middle, because I guess it then was hitting the shield here. So I was probably rotating over from left to right and then once around. So folks, don't tell me it's a personal choice of freedom not to wear a helmet. Wearing a helmet is common sense. You have only one head, you have only one brain. If this is damaged, you are gone. Even if only your face, imagine how it would look like without a helmet. If only your face is gone, this is gonna mess up your life seriously. So don't talk about helmet is maybe not necessary. It's a personal freedom. It's just plain common sense to wear a helmet. Nothing else is valid. Sorry, I have no understanding for people not wearing a helmet when riding a motorcycle. That's the bare minimum. Your brain needs to be protected, and you want to protect your face at least. Then the jacket. As an outer shell, I was wearing... I need to lift it with the other side. Now I can't grip it. That's the problem. I can lift with the right hand. I cannot lift with the right arm. And I cannot grip with the left hand. So that's a little bit... need to use the other fingers now. And it's a little bit annoying. But you might see there are some damages here on the right hand side and some damages over here on the left shoulder. But that jacket is basically gone. It's too many holes to get that repaired. So that was the outer shell. What really saved me is what I was wearing under, and that is this protector jacket. It's actually a Nox Urban Pro. Not getting sponsored by them, just pointing that out. It's a Nox Urban Pro, which has a back protector, which has an auxiliary accessory protector for the rib cage, so that thing you need to buy extra. And of course it has protectors in the shoulders and in the elbows, so that, and it sits quite tight. That's the point. It sits really tight. I'm wearing size M. The newer ones, the Mark III, is a little bit wider. That would fit comfortably. This is a little bit on the tight side for me. But the idea is that if it sits tight, the elbow protectors and everything will stay on it and we will not move away. Still, I have a rash on the just on the right arm here. There's no damage on the jacket, but I guess it was simply the point where I had a lot of pressure when I hit the pavement. And then the protector and the tissue of my underwear was taking off some skin here, but nothing serious. So that's okay. So this thing was really great, and you can wear it actually without an outer jacket. It's classed to be enough abrasion resistant to wear it without an outer jacket. What I do then when it gets cooler is that I put a cross shirt over it to get a little bit less ventilation. It's really nice if it's hot, but then you want less ventilation. And then when it's getting really colder in the evening, I put like a shell jacket over it. So that was what I was wearing on the top. So basically 4 layers: underwear, the protector jacket, the cross jacket, cross shirt, and that membrane jacket. On my legs, I was wearing a Klim Badlands Pro pant. You can see here that it was also a bad idea to have the phone in the leg pocket. There's a clear contour of my cell phone. It was fortunately not damaged. Further down there's no damage. And then there's more damage here on the right hand side, here around the pocket, around the zipper, and then there's some holes here. So I'm not sure if I maybe really went over and came down on my upper body and didn't really hurt my lower body. The boots are Lead adventure boots. The only thing happened here is that one of these things went off. So I hope to get that as a spare part. It would be a waste to throw away the entire boot. And on my gloves, actually, I have on the hands, you see these here and there, some skin came off a little bit worse here on the right hand. That is because the upper part here, which is a stretch zone, isn't really such abrasion resistant. It would have been the same with the fingers, so maybe I should better get some leather gloves. But I like these because they are nice in summer and they give me a nice feeling for the clutch and for the gas, but they are not perfect from a protection point of view, obviously. Also damaged are my side bags. I had these, can't use the right arm. I had these Krieger US 10 on both sides with a harness. So the right one is totally wasted, of course. There was even a bottle here in a bottle holder. That bottle even has a rash actually, but it's still tight. And worse, there was a bottle of wine in a top bag which suffered some damage, so it was leaking wine into my luggage. That is really bad. But altogether, if you look at that and if you look at me, I'm still alive. I have a face. I have no bone damages. I'm really lucky, I think, to walk away like that. Lessons learned: number one, all the gear all the time. This is not an empty phrase. You really need to wear your protective gear all the time. No excuses, no exemptions. It will literally save your ass and your face and everything else, and maybe even your life, in worst case. There's no excuse riding in jeans and t-shirt, and for sure there's no excuse for riding without a helmet. The helmet is the bare minimum. Point two, I always try to avoid riding at nighttime and at dawn, and I'm gonna even more now with that experience try to be at my destination before the sun goes down, because then later it's the time when a lot of animals are getting out there, getting out of the woods, crossing roads, getting out on the fields to find food and stuff like that. Statistics, I looked at that also, especially accidents with wild boar in Sweden over the whole country increased by 26% from 23 to 24. Most likely because there was plenty of food in 2023, because the oaks produced a lot of olens actually. So we found a lot of food and could really reproduce a lot. And then I found a map even of the roads with number of accidents per kilometer, and exactly that spot where I came down is a really red spot. And when we inspected that road section later, on the next day when I was out of hospital, there were clear marks, clear paths on both sides leading in and out of the forest. So this was obviously a place that is frequently used by animals. So in dawn, if you need to ride in dawn, if you cannot avoid it, be really careful, reduce your speed, stay within the limit or even go slower. And be prepared to hit the brakes hard and for stuff like that. Good. I will be recovering, I guess, within a week, and I should be okay again. The right shoulder is getting better, the left thumb is slowly getting better. I wish you a very nice riding season. Accident-free, stay safe. Bye-bye.